All right, guys, welcome to the Git Bit Podcast, where again, blurs and nerds can come together and we all just have a good old time, especially with things like comic books, anime, video games, and things of that nature. Of course, I'm here with my co-host Joe. Joe, how you doing tonight, man?
Let me think. Where am I now?
Dang,
Still Andromeda skipping Joe Tanello.
you are probably the only Mass Effect fan, and I consider myself a Mass Effect fan, but you are the only Mass Effect fan I know that likes Andromeda.
Oh yeah, no, it's just as good as the other ones. It's just very different. It's just more exploration. It's kind of like playing. It's more Star Trek than normal for uh Mass Effect. That's all it is to me. I mean, it's just
You know what? I will
Star
give
Trek
you.
doing First Contact.
I'll give you that to a certain extent. It is more Star Trek than anything else. But anyway, like I said, he enjoyed it. I haven't played Mass Effect Legendary. I actually have it, but I have it a long list of video games and comic books and things of that nature I need to catch up on. But anyway, y'all don't want to hear about my sorrows. You want to hear what we got to talk about this week. So we're
Speaking
just
of
gonna,
sorrows,
huh?
I said speaking of sorrows.
You want to go ahead and you want to go ahead and go into that news now?
Oh, I wasn't gonna. I didn't watch Batwoman. You did. That's why I'm saying. Speaking of sorrows.
Oh yes, I was hoping to. That's so bad. I almost Let me go ahead and get through this because usually I'm happy about CW shows of the week. Usually I am, just because Superman Lois didn't seem to have a bad show yet, have a bad episode yet, and Flash just kind of went hit or miss. Batwoman. What can I say about the season finale of Batwoman that surprises me? Well, I'm not surprised they gave him another season. Maybe finally we can let the story of K Kane go. The fact that we had Batwing that looked like Predator and an off helmet from Halo had a baby. Uh, it was good and terrible. I mean, it just again, I don't mean to be the bearer of bad news. I just don't see Batwoman getting any better because I had so much hope that we finally get past Kate Kane, and the last season, if you will, seemed to be nothing of everything about Kate Kane, which kind of took away from Ryan Wilder being Batwoman, and that it just I don't see season three getting better. I don't. Um, and of course, how else can I put this? Legends of Tomorrow. It's guys. I'm not saying let's give it the old Yeller treatment, but it's had its time. Let's stop with the craziness of a group of people still screwing up the timeline and not really saving anybody because it just needs to be put to pasture. I'm just going to be honest about that. Flash was weird in itself because what was that description you gave of it, Joe, of this episode of Flash?
Barry Allen on the casting couch of Godspeed.
Pretty much. I'm like, I don't get where Flash is going. I mean, yes, we do know that Impulse will be making an appearance, which is Bart. And the whole thing of Barry and Iris having a baby, and it just feels off as far as where they're going with this. Um, and I mean, this last episode made no sense about multiple Godspeeds, and all of a sudden other Godspeeds show up, and then you just have a Godspeed just battle royale, and then nothing, and no explanation at all. So again, it's just like, what? That's an hour of my life I can't get back. At least that's how it feels. So usually I'm excited about the CW shows of the week, but as Joe pointed out, I hate to be the guy of constant sorrow, but that's how it feels right now. Like,
I gotta say this. I am amazed at Batwoman. I have never seen a main character become a cameo walk on before.
true, that is very true. I mean, to be the supposing leading person, and you basically are just reduced to you're the main character, but you're not even a sidekick. You're like the
No, you're
NPC
getting
of the show.
billing as a guest starring on the marquee.
Yes, you are basically guest starring. You're the main role that's basically guest starring on the show. And I was like, with the whole thing of what they did, of course, what they did to Black Mask didn't make any sense. So was he Two Face now? He has acid on his face. I'm like, really?
Like, at least he doesn't become One Face.
I just when I looked at that, I was just like, why? Just why? But again, I'm a person with good storytelling. Also, like I said, there really wasn't much to speak about with CW shows of the week. That's why I'm kind of just speeding right through it, just because it's not even worth talking about.
I do want to bring up the CW animated movie because we both watched Long Halloween. What did you think?
I enjoyed it.
I really enjoyed it. And I do not like most of the Batman movies they put out.
But I mean, the Long Halloween is really a good. Well, let me not say that because I was going to sit there and say it's very hard to screw up a very good story, and I had to retract myself. You can't. It's been done. It has been done that someone has screwed up a great story. But the Long Halloween, I mean, I had no qualms about it. I was like, I like the fact of the attention to detail. I like the fact that the story did not deviate. At the same time, I mean, they didn't try to. I mean, the guy who was voicing Batman is also the guy who played Dean in Supernatural. I can't think. Jensen Ackles. There we go. Ackles.
Yeah, Jensen Ackles, who was also Red Hood and Under the Red Hood.
Yeah. So, and also cosplays the Red
Hood. The other thing that made this very important is this is one of the last roles of the lady that did Catwoman.
Yeah.
This is one of her last roles. Sadly, she passed away saving her son's life in a boating accident.
Mm-hmm.
I believe last year.
Yep, last year.
So there was that. But this is canonically part of the Rebirth universe. So we have that very heavy comic book look outline, which I love to death.
Mm-hmm.
That means this universe is also Batman's only been operating for 2 years because Long Halloween, I believe, is supposed to be Batman Year 2.
Yep.
So we have a relatively new Batman. We have once again the return of Snarky Alfred, which I love to death.
Because yes, I would say Snarky Alfred. I mean, that's scaring people. That's like Alfred. That's like Alfred who gives 0 Fs. I was like, that is 0 Fs, Alfred.
No, 0 Fs, Alfred is easily animated series Alfred.
Yeah, but that's more of in a British way, though. He did. That's like 0 Fs given with a British accent. Let's just be honest.
What are you talking about? Alfred is former secret MI6.
He's former MI6, yes, but you got the so take the Alfred from the first anime series of Batman, compare him to the long Halloween.
They're almost the same person. One just has less shotgun than the other.
Fair. That's fair. But I mean, but for all those who are on the fence about that, the Long Halloween is definitely worth watching. Some other movies, I know I did post them on my Instagram and Facebook. If you were worried about the Tomorrow War, it is a Saturday afternoon movie. I mean, it's not bad. It's not Steven Spielberg E.T. great, but it's still worth watching. So I would definitely recommend anybody that wants to see that. Fast 9, guys. I will say if you're a Fast and Furious fan, because I went to go see it, it is definitely worth watching. If you are with the craziness. Now, if you try to get it seriously, it's gonna mess you up. All right,
I'm just gonna put it to you this way: this will be without spoilers.
Mm-hmm.
Fast 9 is just Mask without the masks.
That's a good analogy. That's a real good analogy.
We have Fast 9 has just embraced the Saturday morning cartoonness that show has become.
Yeah, I mean, I'm with that though. I mean, you can only car race so much.
Yeah, you can only car race so much, but at this point, I am honest to God waiting for Dodge Charger just turn into the main dude from Mask's car, where the doors pop up like a DeLorean. There are laser cannons there. We won't spoil the other parts of that car because that actually does spoil something.
I was going to sit there and say, I thought you were about to say Dom's car turns into a Decepticon. I was about to say.
No. But like Matt Tracker's car, it has like jet engines in the trunk and like lit wings and lasers.
Yeah.
I'm waiting for someone's car to just for no reason turn into a jet or a helicopter at this point.
Oh, we're getting there. It ain't gonna take much. We're getting there.
No, but like Fast 9 just embraces the fact that it is now a Saturday morning cartoon.
Yeah, it's basically anime Point Break, but I'm not mad. I dug it. And also, guys, yes, we're finally, pandemic has set this movie back. I'm talking about Black Widow, which actually comes out the 9th, which I believe that falls on a Friday.
No, it's next week.
Yeah, next week falls on a Friday. So we will. I will actually have a review of that. I'm actually going to go see it Thursday. So hopefully I will be able to give a non-spoiler review of that by Friday on the next podcast. I'm definitely looking forward to that. Other movies that we wanted to bring up as well that we talk about amongst ourselves. We do want to talk about the Mortal Kombat Legends trailer. Now, for all those that don't know, yes, Mortal Kombat, not the HBO Max, which wasn't halfway bad. They actually are coming out with an animated one that you're currently watching right now. This is
Which
actually
was great.
follow. Say what, Joe?
I said, which was great.
Oh yeah, I loved it. But this one, of course, Mortal Kombat Legends: Battle of the Realms. This actually follows the other anime Mortal Kombat, that Scorpion's Revenge, which I think was 2 years ago now. So it basically follows that story. What do you say, Joe?
No, it is. So I want to say this one, Battle for the Realms, is Mortal Kombat 2 and 3 compressed into one movie. With possibly some elements of 4, because I'm fairly certain the trailer shows Shinnok for a split second.
Yeah, he's at the end. So yeah, for all those that are watching now and probably wondering why we have it on mute, because we don't want the DMCA to stop our podcast. That's the reason why it's muted. But of course, as you can see, it's on YouTube. You can definitely watch it and see it for yourself. But of course, this is supposed to be following the final tournament, of course, between Outworld and Earth. And of course,
I know
they keep on saying final. It's kind of funny. I laugh about the fact that they showed Stryker and Johnny Cage having a conversation, and that itself sold me on the fact I wanted to watch it. Just see Johnny Cage and Stryker have a conversation.
It's more Joe McHale, and I got to see who's doing Stryker, because I know that voice.
Well, as long as it's not The Miz, but The Miz wants to do a live action one.
Well, The Miz wants to be Johnny Cage.
Yeah, he does. Badly. But like I said, with this actually is going to direct to DVD. Of course, as you can see, there's a lot of the known characters from Mortal Kombat Legends. I'm just trying to see when the release date, if they said it was. Nope, there's not a release date for it because it is going.
Already, so it's got to be soon.
Yeah, it's kind of funny when they say look for it on DVD and Blu-ray. Like, do I feel really old that in this day and age of digital downloads and instant watching that when you see something that says look for it on Blu-ray and digital downloads, does that not make you feel old a little bit?
I mean, just a smidge. Let me see if IMDb doesn't give us the voice work.
Because you're but yeah.
Oh, it's Matt Mercer as Stryker.
Oh, okay, cool. So
Robert Atkin Downs is Shinnok. Okay, so apparently we are dipping into deeper Mortal Kombat, because IMDb is now telling me Devora's going to be in this.
Somewhere. She was in the trailer for a split second. She was in the trailer for a split second.
Person. I didn't think that was actually Devora.
I mean, had her hanging in spiderweb, but it was a quick second. But I'm looking forward to it. Like I said before, once it does become available on digital downloads, wherever you may watch it, we're not saying you should do anything that'll violate any laws. However you should watch it is upon you.
I'm fairly certain this will fall onto HBO Max pretty quickly.
If it does, well, I mean, that'll definitely be worth the subscription. But again, that's one of the movies we're actually going to be looking forward to. Another movie. And speaking of other movie news that we got, guys, I did. I'd give Joe this one because he brought this up and he kind of made my day when I was having a really bad day. And this part was cool. That Ron Perlman has been reported to be the voice of Optimus Primal in Transformers: Rise of the Beast. Now, for all those who know who Ron Perlman is, he to me will always be Hellboy. He will always be to me the Szechuan chef in Pacific Rim. And many other roles he has played. But to see him play the voice of Optimus Primal warms my heart. For all those that don't know, yes, there is a Transformers Rise of the Beast movie that is going to be coming out eventually, which is actually going to be taking on, of course, those from Beast Machines, from the Beast Wars Transformers series, also one of my favorite Transformers series. It's going to be interesting. Now, I'm going to be honest with you guys. When I first heard that Transformers was going to be coming out another movie, the first thing I sat there and said was, as long as Michael Bay is nowhere near this production, I will be okay with it.
So I actually can follow up on this. So this is serving as a direct sequel to Bumblebee, which was one of the best Transformers movies,
Yeah,
period.
I digged it.
This will also, as Bumblebee was set in the 80s, this is actually going to be set in 1994 and will be setting around Optimus Prime. This will be taking us from Brooklyn all the way to Peru. We have 3 human characters, which we'll be following. Anthony Ramos is going to be someone named Noah. Dominique Fishback, excuse me, will be Alina. And Lauren Velez will be Noah's mom. Autobots, we have Peter Cullen returning as Optimus Prime. Bumblebee will be back. He will be a modified yellow Chevrolet Camaro based off the 1970s variant with off-road extensions. Mirage will be coming back as a 1994 blue and silver Porsche 911.
Okay.
RC will be appearing as a 1994 Ducati 916, which is going to be kind of like her Prime version.
Okay.
We have, instead of Predacons, we have the Terracons. We have Scourge, who is the leader of the Terracons, and also he transforms into a giant locust and is a trophy hunter. He has a second in command, which is a female Terracon, who transforms into a 1994 Nissan GTR. The Maximals will be Ron Perlman doing Optimus Primal.
Yep.
Rhinox, and Air Razor.
So, no, I was going to say I was kind of hoping for Rat Trap and Cheetor, but that might come along. That might be surprises. I will hope for that. I'm about as hopeful for that as I am about the Snake Eyes movie.
Visual photography started on my birthday, which was the 7th. It has a potential release date for June 24th of next year.
Long as nothing stops it. But then again, pandemic has set a lot of stuff back. We hope it doesn't come back to haunt us. What are you saying?
I'm looking to see. Okay, so the director, one of his most notable things is he is the director for Creed 2.
Okay, Creed 2 wasn't a bad movie as long as it's not Michael Bay. That's the thing that he's been given enough. He does not need more. So I can live with the fact if he's nowhere in the director's chair for this. I will give anybody
but he is producing.
I
mean, he was also a producer on Bumblebee, so being a producer
let's be honest.
Before.
Let's kind of be honest. Was it just producer in title and he was just nowhere allowed near the cutting room? I can live with that. You can be producer in title only. Just don't let him add explosions. It's already got enough explosions as it is. But dang, that kind of put a bad taste in my mouth. He's gonna be a producer on that. I still will watch it.
Like I said, he was also a producer on Bumblebee, and Bumblebee was really good.
Yeah, don't get me wrong, I love Bumblebee. But I'll just, Michael Bay it just makes my stomach hurt sometimes. Anyway, keep moving along, guys. I did want to give a little bit of video game news, and then before we get to Loki and asking that one scene at the end, I did want to get to Dead Space. Now, for all those that remember Dead Space, it is one of my favorite survival horror games. It has been confirmed that it's been confirmed through EA Motive that there will be a remake of Dead Space. They did not say exactly when that was going to occur, but it has been confirmed. Not only Dead Space, but there is a possible other game that might be brought back through Xbox, and that's Legacy of Kain Soul Reaver. That in itself is still a rumor at this moment. It has been confirmed. Dead Space has been confirmed, but if Dead Space and Legacy of Kain Soul Reaver remakes do happen, first and foremost, Dead Space is like Resident Evil in space. Let me tell you that out the bat. It is pure horror. It is pure scariness. Joe's already shaking his head.
Because it's Silent Hill in space.
And it's awesome. Joe's just shaking his head over there like, no. Actually, you know what? I compare it more to Resident Evil than Silent Hill. Because, you know what it is? it's the whole enunciation of the sounds, like the sounds and the visuals. And if you're like me and my dumb tail played it at night in the dark with a nice system, that messes you up.
Well, I equated more Silent Hill because some of it is actually psychological horror more than it is like actual threats coming directly at you. Because by 2, you don't know if you're actually killing innocent people that you perceive as monsters or if they are actually monsters half the time.
I see you thought of it that way. I thought of it as you coming at me, I'm just going for the leg. I can sort out the psychological part later. I'm just trying to make it through the ship. That's kind of bad.
So many below the knee amputees.
That's kind of bad if you think about it. I just don't know if you could be a necromorph, you could be a live person. I could have lost my mind. They gave me a plasma cutter. That's on them. But no, but it's like again, guys. If you like Dead Space like I do, I'm looking forward to it because that's the reason why I honestly still keep my 360 around because there's a lot of games that are not on Game Pass yet. That I still play on my 360, and that's one of them because that is just too fun of a game. But Legacy of Kain Soul Reaver, if that actually becomes confirmed, there's going to be a lot of happy gamers out there because that was a game that deserves a remake because that was actually the first. I want to say it's one of the first games where there was no loading times, which at a time in PlayStation everybody hated the loading times. It took forever and a day just for a single platform to load. It was almost like you're running Windows 95. But like I said, I'm just looking forward to that. Also, another game that also came out with some news, and forgive me if I mispronounce this because I always do whenever I love this. It's actually, to me, it was one of the greatest games last year, and I still think it is. It's hard to beat this. I'm talking about Ghost of Tsushima. Now, of course, if anybody remembers that game, that is the game of you being a samurai that can choose to play as an honorable samurai, or you can choose to be as like they call a dishonorable assassin. Either way, you got the job done. It was actually one of the to me, aside from God of War, one of the best games that Sony ever had put out. Now, that being said, they're actually coming out with a director's cut. Now, this director's cut is supposed to not only include a new skill expansion, a new island expansion. It's actually going to be coming a little bit more polished on the game, and it's supposed to be coming out very soon. Now, for all those that have PS5s and PS4s, I know it's going to be more PS4 than PS5 people out there. You're probably wondering how much you're going to need to get it. Well, if you're a PS4 player that already has the game, you can upgrade to it for $20. If you already own the director's cut, you can upgrade to the PS5 version of the director's cut for $10. And anybody with an original copy of the full game of Ghost of Tsushima looking to upgrade to the director's cut on PS5 will have to pay $30. And for anyone wanting to buy it for the first time, it'll be $70 on PS5 and $60 on PS4. Now, I know that's a lot of information. I know a lot of people are going, so we're basically paying, and this was the gripe because me and Joe were looking at the comments on a few posts, and the gripe that we have, so we're gonna just pay more for a new game. That just sounds like a cash grab. Okay, so before I let Joe give his opinion, I need to say this because I'm gonna sound like a hypocrite. So I'm gonna come with the apology first. I apologize for all the times I talked about microtransactions because I caught myself in my own explanation. I caught myself saying this, that I said a long time ago when it came to Fortnite, when it came to Apex Legends, when it came to year editions of Street Fighter, of Killer Instinct, things of that nature, that microtransactions were going to beat us to death. That we felt like if you were just not, you could have actually. My excuse was that you could have waited to have a fully developed game and then pay full price versus paying us full price for what I considered to be an incomplete game, and that you added on as the years went on. And that was a really short oversight on what I said, and I apologize for it. So I'm saying this live for the world to see that I get it about microtransactions now. Just because the funding for video game development is not what it used to be. Companies are not waiting for a full development of games. They're really taking a sandbox idea like those shooters I described and putting them out there. And of course, as development gets better, the funding may not always be there, so you are kind of a little bit helping the development along. I mean, if you like the game, you should support it, just like you would support an indie artist. I get that. So the reason why I say about Ghost of Tsushima, I love the fact because again, there's so many more additions you get to, like a Japanese sync label mode. Like, bro, if you're a fan of the old school martial arts movies, that's what the Japanese sync level is, where you can literally, there's an English dub to it, there's a Japanese dub to it. However you choose to enjoy the game is upon you. But I think that for the team that's putting that extra work into that game and giving us more content, I think it is justified to sit there and say that yes, you should be paying more. I mean, if you want to play the game, you got to play the game that you paid for. So if you want to play an extension of the game, then yes, you should pay more. No different than what Diablo and EverQuest used to do back in the old days. But what are you gonna say, Joe?
So I kind of agree and disagree. I do believe microtransactions are a cash grab if they are purely cosmetic. If it is just a skin, I will play Avengers till the sun sets forever, but I swear to God, I am never giving them a nickel to make my Captain America silver or my Hulk orange. But I will, if I had the option, give them money to add on Kate Kane and extend a story mode for an additional 5 hours. In this case of Ghost of Tsushima Director's Cut, we're getting a whole new island of Ikishima, which is a small neighboring island in Tsushima itself. That is perfectly acceptable because you get already a fantastic game and maybe, another 5-10 hours worth of content?
Give or take.
On top of an already fantastic game?
Yeah.
No, that's worth $20. That's worth paying that much because that's more of a great game that we get to play. That's not just, okay, it's $20. Here's 5 different colored scabbards. What did it do for you? There are 5 different colors. No. Here's an island where you can go maybe get a new skill that you can bring over on New Game Plus. I'll do that.
Okay, no, that's completely fair.
Yeah.
I mean, I get what you're saying. You don't want to pay extra just for cosmetics. I get that. It's just we just like I said, when you hear some gamers complain, it's like, okay, you're complaining because of XYZ, but let's be honest, it's not because of that, it's because of this. So, I mean, like I said, Ghost of Tsushima, I know I'm mispronouncing that wrong. I'm mispronouncing the T and the S.
Tsushima's right.
I feel like I keep on mispronouncing the T and the S, but I still say it's one of the very games I do love playing. And like I said, I'm looking forward to the expansion on it because I have a PS4. Of course, for all those that PS5s, you're gonna love it. But I have no problem paying $20. I'm looking forward to it. Of course, hey Chad, Fortnite. Yes, Chad, I know you love Fortnite. That's not surprising at all. But with also that being said, I'm going to go to the next thing. You probably wonder about WWE. Not really worth talking about.
Selena Vega came back.
Say it one more time.
Selena Vega came back.
Yeah, but her husband was released.
Which one was her husband? There were like 80 people released last week.
Oh God. Oh yeah, that's true. Aleister Black, also known as Tommy Inn on the Indies. But he was actually he was let go. Although Edge did come back last Friday on SmackDown, and I'm like, I think Vince is just trying to grab everything that he can because the Raw and SmackDown ratings have been good and terrible, and AEW and Ring of Honor and Impact Wrestling. I actually had to look this up. Impact Wrestling actually had better ratings than WWE for like the last 2 months. And they're on a no-name, and Impact Wrestling is on a no-name network. and they've got better ratings than Raw does, and Raw's on USA. I still have yet to figure that out, except the fact it's Vince. Which makes me think that maybe CM Punk had a point. Maybe this whole entire time CM Punk wasn't wrong. That apparently Vince will run down WWE into the ground, and especially the whole thing about Keith Lee. I hope Keith Lee is not released. He, to me, is I look forward to him coming back to the ring, and I look forward to him actually getting a push, but I hope to goodness gracious he is not released. Well, not to say he won't get picked up anywhere, but let's be honest, he was on his way he was on his way to main event status in WWE. I mean, he killed it in NXT, but he was on his way in WWE. But again, like I said, there's not really much to explain in the world of wrestling except the fact that WWE had a record profit and they let go of 80 people and still want to get sold by somebody. So again, there's always that. AEW is back on the road, so they will actually be doing road shows. So hopefully, when they're back in Nashville, I will be able to hopefully go to a road show and be able to see and get used to that. Because let's be honest, if you've never been to a sports entertainment show in live, it is so much fun. Just because there's a lot of stuff that happens that is not on television, and trust me, for a good reason. Especially if you go to ECW back in the old days, there was a good reason why none of that was on television. But you definitely couldn't pull that stuff they pulled now. But anyway, but yeah, just not much from the WWE world. I did want to take it to Joe on this next one because everybody's wondering, at least when Loki episode 4 came out, there was a certain scene at the end that just, puzzled everybody. Because Loki sat there and said, am I dead? And you hear a voice go, no, you will be if you don't come with us. And this scene. Yes, it is not the Avengers you ordered from Wish. No, these are the Loki variants, which I will let Joe discuss the 4 variants we're seeing right there.
Well, we got Boastful Loki, which just is Loki, but he's also has a version of Mjolnir.
Yep.
We got Kid Loki, which may be Kid Loki from Young Avengers or Kid Loki when he was one of the agents of Atlas. We have comic book Silver Age Loki, which I think everyone's just calling Old Loki or Loki how it's supposed to be spelled, which is Ioki.
Yeah.
And Crocky, which I'm just calling him Crocky. We also someone pointed out that they are actually in a ruined world of New York because Avengers Tower is directly behind them crumbling.
Oh yeah, I noticed that. So that is interesting. Of course, like I said, I should have said spoiler alert, but let's be honest. If you follow Loki like the rest of us, I'm pretty sure everybody has seen Loki and caught up with it by now.
Oh, the memes are already out there. I've already seen. What's the new Spider-Man kid? Oh, Tom Holland, where he wakes up to the same thing.
Oh, when they said
everybody from Spider-Verse telling the same thing.
How to explain episode 4 of Loki? You just got 4 Spider-Man pointing at each other.
No. It's instead of Loki waking up, it's Tom Holland, and then it's Spider-Ham, Peter B, Spider-Gwen, and Miles just doing the same thing poses.
Oh, I saw one with Owen Wilson where he had all his characters from previous movies. Yeah. I remember that one too. But yes, with Loki,
where am I? Wow, you need to come with us.
Pretty much. But with Loki, guys, it is all questions. This is what Disney/Marvel does so well. They give us little series like this, and we spin our little wheels trying to figure out what's going on. And spoiler alert again, if you haven't watched the latest episode, you might want to mute us right now. Just because, number one, we're going to go ahead and talk about it. Who's really running the TVA? The fact that the timekeepers weren't exactly who they say they were, and at the same time that Miranda really doesn't like Sylvie, and I guess we can explain why. But again, they kind of showed Sylvie when she was first picked up in an alternate Asgard, where of course Sylvie was basically female Loki, and the fact that you already branded her a criminal before she did anything wrong. So I can kind of see why she kind of has a hatred for you. I mean, you picked her up as a kid. So it was interesting the fact that you see Mobius and Loki talk, and Loki said, "You realize, Loki, you're so much of a narcissist that you fall for yourself." And I was like, I wouldn't say falling. It's kind of like a mutual respect level.
No, they later confirmed it. It's going to be a love story.
It is going to be a love story? Okay. Because it was kind of funny because Loki, even Mobius said, "Are you enchanting her or is she enchanting you?" He's like, I think it's kind of equal at the moment. But I love it so far just because you had that one hunter that kind of realized that what Sylvie was saying was right, that you guys weren't created by the timekeepers, you were kidnapped, and the memories of your past life started floating back to you. And I just thought that was cool. But I'm looking forward to seeing what episode 5 is going to be about. But what do you think about Loki so far, Joe?
Okay, so I have two thoughts on who's behind this.
Okay.
Another Loki, or it's Kang the Conqueror.
Ooh. Now, okay, you're taking this one. Go ahead. You
Okay,
realize on
cool.
this series, I kept on screaming Mephisto and Nightmare. So you got this one. Go for it.
Okay, so the reason why I think it's Kang the Conqueror is because we know Kang rules all of time.
Mm-hmm.
So if he wants to preserve his throne and power, he needs the flow of time to stay exactly as they are. That keeps him in line. So if they make any sort of branches and various paths, he can lose his hold on his throne. Meaning he has to institute a society which preserves this very specific timeline, a sacred timeline, in order to keep his position.
Nah, that's fair. I'll give you
Also,
that.
Kang the Conqueror has already been outed as the main villain in Ant-Man and Wasp 2, which this could just be setting that up.
Well, it's kind of funny. It's kind of funny because I thought King the Conqueror. Well, you do have a point. He could appear here in Loki first, just because of the TVA and the time and the multiverse theory, and of course show up in the quantum realm. So that is a fair point. So I'll give you that.
That's my biggest thing. It's like it's probably Kang or another Loki or a bigger, badder Loki.
True. I don't know. King the Conqueror fits though. It really does fit.
For all we know, it could be 616 Loki from the comic book.
That's also true. But either way, it's got us hooked. And speaking of comic books, this is part where Joe usually, like I say before, I usually say this about Joe, he is a walking encyclopedia. His knowledge of comic book lore and things of that nature makes mine look very, very relatively non-existent. So
I read a lot.
So with that being said, Joe, what comic book recommendations you got for us this week?
All right. Well, we were going to knock out the entire Hellfire Gala, but we are going to look at some books very quickly first.
Okay.
The first stuff we were going to be looking at is called Yojimbat.
You told me about this one. I get it. What is this one about?
This is actually really interesting. I just kind of stumbled upon this. So this is once again another writer-artist book. It is by Sylvain Rapos. This is published by Europe Comics. It's only on issue 3 right now because, like I said, writer and artist.
Okay.
The plot synopsis is this is in the Hokkaido province of Japan in 2241. The entire island is populated by androids who tirelessly reenact samurai battles. The third crisis of man has nearly destroyed almost all traces of human life. They are living kind of like either in pockets of humanity or underground because of various things. And what few machines there are have survived and continued their traditional protocols. One robot is what's just known as a Yojimbat, where he just dresses as a wandering samurai.
Okay.
And comes face to face with a human child. And his father, the father is killed by a military branch of unknown origin, and the child just enlists the Yojimbat to protect him.
Wait.
So,
why is that storyline sound? I'm sorry. I was like, wondering why that storyline sounded familiar. That storyline sounded very familiar.
It's Lone Wolf and Cub.
That too, but I was thinking of another one. But go ahead.
The Mandalorian?
Didn't think about that one till just now, but keep going. I was thinking of messed up Chappie. I was thinking of messed up Chappie analogy, but go ahead.
So the comic has very few dialogue. This is a very art heavy comic, mostly because the robots do not actually talk. There are speech bubbles for the robots.
Okay.
But it's more like synthetic dialogue of end scenario 472.3 between mobile units 063 and units 315. So it's like not them actually saying anything. It's just, command prompt dialogue.
Oh, so it's not like zeros and ones, is it?
No.
Okay.
So the kid enlists several other robots, and issue 2 we are given names to the robots. So Yojimbat is officially dubbed Shedu. We have a merchant robot who also has a sword and the staff kind of thing. He's called Kombini, which Makes sense because Konbini is also a convenience store. And then he runs across a robot that really likes explosive, which they call him Bakudan,
That
which just
fits.
bomb.
Yeah, that fits.
In issue 3, we see already that this is going to be like a rotating cast for the robots. Bakudan sacrifices himself to put down a much larger robot. And then at the end of the issue, we see a more Shogun dressed, or excuse me, samurai armored robot with a long spear, which is the more traditional weapon of a samurai. Like I said, this is very, very dialogue light. Only really the kid really says anything, and even then, it's the story is carried by the art, and the art is fantastic.
Is it really bad that I'm expecting a robot named Yoshimitsu to come out of nowhere?
I mean, I wouldn't put it past him, honestly. I guarantee you we'll have something called Shinobi or Kage pretty
Ooh.
soon. We
You
don't
know,
have a ninja.
well, unless it's Shinobi and they get real close to a certain color style, then Sega's gonna come looking.
It's in Europe.
I wouldn't be mad though. See Yoshimitsu with an actual face. Well, I don't know that face. That demon face is actually it's more popular in a lot of areas, so that makes
Yeah.
sense.
So I really recommend this. Again, I just stumbled upon this like just through certain happenstance. It was one of those, oh, Yojimbot. All right, well let's see what this is. And I really like it.
That sounds
Great
cool though.
artwork, good story. It's only gonna be coming out maybe once every month or 2 months because the whole thing is writer artist, so that's gonna take a bit.
But still, I mean,
Um
I like this. I like the premise of it, just because it reminds me. It's. I know there's a. It'll come. You know what? Don't mind me. It's gonna come back to me later. What I'm thinking about. But go ahead.
we do see one robot talk, and that's the end of the episode. Or that's the end of the issue 3. So I don't know what's gonna happen until issue 4 comes out.
Okay. I want to keep that in mind. I keep on saying
Yeah.
Yo Jimbot. I was like Yo Jimbo. Oh, Final Fantasy X. That's
Kinda.
where. That's where it came from. One of the
Uh,
Guardian spirits is Yo Jimbo.
Jumping
Okay.
on over, the bad week of Beta Ray Bill. Danny Ward Johnson is, of course, writer and artist, with Mike Spicer doing colors.
I'm sorry.
Uh, Beta Ray Bill is kind of like going through the old Superman issue. What do you get for the man who has everything? Where he kind of has like a Black Mercy moment where his ship is infested by this long purple nightmare tendril in Nilfheim.
Oh, it's still there.
Yeah, it's still there. And he's envisioning all these moments of his life. So, like, he's going through the ship, and each door, like, opens to a part of his life. Like, the Corbinites mutating him to fight in their military and be a super soldier. Then one door leads to the fight between Thor when they first met, and Beta Ray Bill doing a whole German suplex to KO Thor.
So it's kind of this is your life, since Beta Ray Bill, this is your life
Yeah,
kind of
it's
thing.
new life, and like him talking to his mom and whatnot. Beta Ray Bill fighting Surtur for the first time. And then finally he finds the Black Mercy pod that's on his thing and just immediately obliterates it. And his ship crashes onto the actual homeworld of Surtur, which kind of looks like a scene out of Castlevania.
Symphony of
Big
the
old
Night
architecture.
I was gonna say Symphony of the Night or Lords of Shadow. There's a big
Uh,
difference.
Symphony of the Night.
Okay, I can live with that.
Except the sword of Surtur is just kind of sitting there like a giant sword in the stone. And the ship that turned itself into a female robot's like, hey, you don't need this. Your mom is right. You're stronger than you really do. And he's like, no, I really do need the sword. So, of course, the moment he tries to grab the sword, Surtur appears. And what I say this every issue, every page, almost every panel is a heavy metal cover. And this finale, where the giant demon Surtur is like, who's touching my sword? Just like pops out, and it's something you expect to see on like an Iron Maiden cover.
I don't know. They do have very artistic covers though, but I just thought about Super
But
just
yeah.
who dares this? I'm sorry. I'm sorry. That was
Well, that's where it ends. The next issue is the finale. It's the grand finale of Bill versus Surtur. There's that. Heading over, also, we are going to be looking at Power Rangers Unlimited. This is one of their one-shots.
okay.
Much like the Astronomer one-shot, this is a one-shot involving the Phantom Ranger. Apparently, the Phantom Ranger has been around forever. So, major spoilers for Power Rangers. Cannot iterate this more. This book is a lore dump. So this picks up a little bit after issue 8 of the current run, where the Phantom Ranger is on a planet called Hartunia, where it has been absolutely decimated and being left a giant ball of molten rock. After the current villains, the Imperials, have dealt with it.
Okay.
We are now he is looking over the landscape, surrounded by skulls and whatnot, and the devastation caused. We flash back 10,000 years into the past, where we see Rita as a child with her mother.
Wait, say what?
Yeah, like I said, this is a heavy lore dump.
Okay.
We also see that Rita's mom dresses with the White Ranger powers, kind of, with the dragon wearing something very similar to that of the Dragon Shield.
Huh. Okay.
They are fighting hordes of Tengu. She does not win. They are about to execute her. We also see that Tengus have a hierarchy because we see a chieftain Tengu for the first time.
Now, see, because I've never read this line before, so let me stop for a second. So this line, does it coincide with the Mighty Morphin run, or how does that actually work?
So this coincides with the Mighty Morphin run. This is season midway. This is all happening midway through season 2. So in the grand scheme of things, Rocky, Adam, and Ayush have taken over.
Okay.
We are in a divergent timeline because Kim's ex-boyfriend prior to Tommy is now the current Green Ranger.
Okay.
And the peace summit that Zach, Jason, and Trini went on, that was all facade. They are Black Ops Power Rangers in space.
Okay.
And they have even gone on missions that work against Zordon for the betterment of the universe.
Wow. Oh, I have got to go back and read this.
Oh, no, this has been fantastic. I was really kind of leery after Kyle Higgins ended his run.
Mm-hmm.
But this guy is amazing. And this is Ryan Perot.
Okay.
So, like I said, this lore dump.
I'm sorry, that just stuck with me. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No. You, by all means, ask questions. I have no problem. So we learned that the Tangas have a hierarchy because we now see a chieftain Tanga or possibly a shaman Tanga for the first time. Of course, it's ritual because they're trying to do something to Rita by letting Dark Spectre come into our universe, making her a conduit. This one, she is still a small child, by the way.
It's only a long way to say that's how to make Rita evil.
Oh, like I said, this is a giant lore dump. The Phantom Ranger interrupts it. They get away. However, the Phantom Ranger is almost critically, near fatally injured. And we see that the rumors may be true, and he may be a sentient suit of armor fueled purely by morphing grid energy. So they take Rita's mom, and Rita takes him to one of the only places which can repair him, which is what's called a Master Forge.
Okay.
Where the Morphin Masters created these forges and scientific stations to study the morphin grid itself. And then we learned that Rita, her dad was Master Vile in the show. We learned that her dad truly was Master Vile because Dark Spectre took her father and corrupted him and turned him into Master Vile.
Okay.
So we see that Rita's mom, which I don't remember her name, but it was dropped several dozen issues ago. She sees a vision of the future where Rita is the Mystic Mother from Mystic Force because that's how that's supposed to turn out.
Really? So
yes.
she's supposed. So in Mystic, oh wow, I'm sorry.
So after in Z, when they get hit by the purifying wave, the
Yeah,
Zordon wave, she becomes a good witch again, and she becomes mystic. She becomes the mystic great mother that you see at the end, the giant woman,
yeah.
which was the last role the actual Japanese actress did before she passed away. She was in Japan. I think she was called Great Mystic something,
Huh.
but in Power Rangers lore, she becomes Grand Mystic Mother or something. But when Rita's father, prior to his corruption, sees a vision of her, he only sees Rita Repulsa. So Dark Spectre, taking that one inkling, turns her actual father into Master Vile.
Ah. So
So,
Rita
like I said, this
Repulsa.
is just a giant lore dump.
It's you know, a friend of ours right now would be loving this if you read
Oh,
this.
this is going to turn his fan fiction inside out all over again. So, what they do to help prevent, because the Tangers are still tracking him down, and they do eventually find the Master Forge. Rita's mom imbues Rita with and the Red and the Phantom Ranger imbue her with some morphing grid energy. So Rita's always going to have. The mom's name is Fiona because Master Vile says it. Because Master Vile himself takes charge of this.
Got it.
So through the combined efforts of the Mother and the Phantom Ranger, Rita has a small amount of morphing grid energy in her, meaning she can never become pure evil like the Father intends. Meaning she can no longer be used as a conduit for Dark Spectre to cross over into the universe.
Okay.
So, Master Vile just blows up the starship, takes Rita with them, and of course we know how that ends.
That's where the Rita
Phantom
Repulsa side,
Ranger
right?
left drifting in space until he's picked up, and so then it fast forwards back. And then we learned that Master Vile has finally crossed over into our galaxy, which is what we're with it during Power Rangers in space.
Okay.
So, like I said, this is just a giant lore dump.
It is, and it actually answers a lot of questions though. So I was like, if we all knew, it was rumored. I should say it's rumored because speaking on the outside in that Rita was supposed to be a Power Ranger.
Well, in that movie continuity, yeah.
Yeah, in the movie continuity, yeah, she's supposed to be a Power Ranger. That's all. I was like, it's interesting because,
She
like
was
I
a
said,
Power Ranger. She was the Green Ranger.
yeah. So I just thought that was interesting considering, like I said, I've never read any line of Power Rangers, and the fact that that's what's been going on so long, I need to go back and go read it. But I'm sorry, what were you gonna say?
The whole line is just amazing. I've had so much fun reading it, and they have changed so many things, but it makes it better. Like the Power Rangers that Zordon recruited in the 70s, which like went on one mission and like all but 2 were killed.
Dang.
The Red Ranger was a leader. In fact, the Red Ranger is the reason why you have not Mystic Force, Lost Galaxy.
Okay.
He's the one that's building Terra Venture. Because she is retrofitting old Zord technology that she knows how to work because she was the former Red Ranger.
Dang.
It also explains why there's not a Psycho Green or a Psycho Silver, say for that one like brief costume change that Zane had for that one moment, but it explains why there's no Psycho Green Ranger.
True. That is very true. I was going to say now I think about it, there was no Psycho Green. Blue, red. Yep, you're right. There was no Psycho Green. But again, that does explain a lot, though.
So, we will jump and cover all the Hellfire Gala in shotgun style.
You can go ahead because I'm not where I should be in it, but go ahead.
So, Planet-Size X-Men. The X-Men and the Krakoan and Iraqi. I don't know how to pronounce this correctly. Araco mutants terraform Mars. So naturally, all of humanity is terrified because, like, oh, we were going to do that in like 100 over the course of decades, and like the music's like, no, this is ours now. We've terraformed it like in like 2 hours.
I still laugh about that. Take over the world? No, we're just gonna go to Mars. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Well, it's because there's too many mutants now for even Krakoa and Araco to sustain.
Yeah.
So the Araco mutants, which are Apocalypse's people, just take up residence on Mars.
Just moved to Mars. I'm sorry, go ahead.
So we do that. That's Planet Size X-Men. So next up we have the New Mutants. The Hellfire Gala is still going on. Warlock is just having some fun being himself. We see a whole bunch of stuff. We see Nightcrawler bamfing everywhere, and we'll get to him in a bit because Nightcrawler is drunk the whole gala.
Nothing's
like
worse than nothing.
The whole gala.
Nothing's worse than a drunk teleporter, but go ahead.
Oh no, it makes all those drunken conversations that get really awkward amazing because he just like bamps out when it gets too awkward. So there's like a brief exchange between Danny and Rain, and Rain's like, hey, my kid's still alive and we got to track him down. And Danny's like, yeah, we will absolutely after this gala. And Danny's like, well, I really want to go now. It's like, this is important for everybody, Rain. I know it's your kid, but we have to do this. So there's that. Some overly drunk dude who thinks he's super full of himself tries to hit on Magic. That does not go well. Then he tries to hit on Karma. That goes equally bad because Karma's mutant ability, she can possess you. So she just makes a total dork and just makes him look like a complete jerk in front of the entire course of high humanity.
Damn.
Right in front of him. And then she goes and gets a dance by people. Warlock is just kind of like bumming around with Doug and Doug's wife, which is one of the Iraqans. Meanwhile, Gabby is... we left Gabby last time talking to the Shadow King.
Okay.
And all of her mutant friends that don't look like humans are out looking for her. And we come across Gabby's possibly dead body.
Come again?
Yeah, Gabby's body. Gabby's corpse.
Okay.
This also is going to be leading into Inferno because remember, Gabby's a clone and they have an issue about resurrecting
clones, right?
The unfortunate thing about this book, and it is the most heartbreaking thing I have read, is they include a handwritten note by Gabby to Laura. And Gabby's just like kind of explaining everything and how she misses Laura and whatnot. And it just breaks your heart.
Dang, not the tearjerkers.
Oh, yeah. No, and Laura finds this note. So you want to see a bloodlusting Wolverine. And on top of that, it's not just Laura that finds the note. Dakin finds the note with Laura.
Oh.
So it's going to be Wolverine's two kids looking for Laura. I don't think they are going to bring it to Logan's attention because those two pissed off are bad enough. Imagine what it's going to be when Logan finds out someone's killed Gabby on Krakoa.
Yeah, that's not going to end well for somebody.
Oh, that's not going to end well for anybody in his way, period.
True. That is also true.
So, again, it's heartbreaking because it's a note from Gabby right after we find her corpse. We know that she's probably going to have something to do with Inferno coming up because Inferno looks like it's going to be the return of the clones.
Okay.
Probably not the way they were, so hopefully she's just knocked unconscious, but I'm pretty sure she's dead.
Dang.
X-Corp, this is one of the few X books I'm not reading because I really don't care about the business aspect of the X-Corp world. In fact, it's really hard for me to even
get into,
even if it's the Hellfire thing. Like, they're running the talk show circuit.
Mutants running a talk show?
Hellfire Gala and whatnot.
That's gonna be a hard music. I've said music. Mutants running a talk. I cannot talk today. Mutants running a talk show as far as that goes?
No, they're running like the talk show circuit. So they're like on some late night shows and whatnot. And there's some other stuff going on, but I really just can't even get invested into this one because it's just not my cup of tea.
Gotcha.
So, I mean, it's part of Hellfire Gala. It has something to do with the business end of the Hellfire Gala. It just wasn't for me.
It's like the IRS having a summit. But go ahead.
Yes. We're jumping into Wolverine, which continues. This is Wolverine and X-Force are kind of like the security detail for the Hellfire Gala. They are still dealing with Deadpool in some degree. I think CeeLo Green's in it, makes a cameo, and he's talking to Black Panther.
Oh Lord.
There's just like a lot of cameos in here. And then we see plant mutants or plant aliens are starting to invade and try to take hostages, which was something that may have been planted by Beast. Which I am still certain that is not Beast. It's Dark Beast in disguise again. But no, Wolverine's running security detail, so he's got to do himself some gardening. Beast tries to save people from these plant creatures. It's just not working. And then we learn someone has attacked Christian, which is Emma Frost's brother, and has dumped him in the ocean while stealing the Marauder. Meanwhile, Domino is fighting off more plant creatures, and then Deadpool comes back somehow with an RPG.
It's Deadpool. It's like at this point, why even question? Because it's Deadpool.
Yep. And then Sage pretty much like looks at all the stuff going on with the telefloronic system, which actually turned into those creatures, that beast thing. And Sage just pretty much tells him, "Get out of my office. I'm going to fix all this crap."
Dang. So that's a lot.
Meanwhile, Deadpool is officially let into the Hellfire Gala because he got to do stuff. I'll say the gala. He is making himself incredibly obnoxious, but everybody shares a beer. Emma tries to confront Beast on it, and we see that the Marauder, for whatever reason, is on fire.
I'm assuming that's something to do with Deadpool.
Possibly. Next up, we got Sword Issue 6. We see that Captain America is looking out upon Mars as it's terraformed. He's kind of having a really hard time processing that the mutants have taken Mars. Meanwhile, we see the good and honorable Henry Gyrich trying to recruit Alpha Flight for a supposed siege against Mars, and Vindicator's like, "Yeah, get away from me, Gyrich. Why are you even here?"
Oh man.
Then Captain America and Doctor Doom have like this really long heart to heart about all this going on and what their place in the universe is. Now that the mutants have established a foothold much further out than any of them ever thought.
Just see Captain America and Doctor Doom have a discussion is interesting in itself.
It is. It really is, because it's one of those. We really are kind of the same people at the same time, Steve. We have just very different ideologies and how to go through things. And even Steve was like, "I'll agree to that to a extent, Victor, but only to an extent."
I mean, you tried to rule Latveria. I tried to free America from the Red Skulls. I was like, you might have a lot more in common with the Red Skull than you do with me.
So, moving along, we are on Mars. Various aliens of the Sol system have arrived on Mars at the behest of Abigail Brandt, who Abigail is a spacer first, a mutant second, and a human third.
Okay.
Even she does not, even though she is a mutant, she says, I'm a spacer first. First and foremost, I am a space person. I just happen to have mutant powers. So you get a rundown on who's there. So we have the Galactic Room Collective. We have Great Clamia, the House of Rigel, the Zenrix Empire, the Intergalactic Empire of Wakanda, I didn't even know that was a thing, but sure.
Wait, say it again.
The Intergalactic Empire of Wakanda.
I guess we're expanding now.
It's Ritho Shura's son. He is also known as the Eye of T'Challa, also rumored to be one of the Empire's White Wolf operatives.
Huh. Okay.
The Kree Skrull Alliance. He is. It's the Super Skrull. The Shi'ar Empire is by Smasher, which is actually Cannonball's wife. The Astrologers of Spartak, so we know it's Star-Lord. The Utopian Kree, which is Novar. And Earth, which is a partial representative because he is also Nova Prime, so Richard Rider. So they're all like, yeah, Krakoa can't, or Arakko and Mars cannot be the center of Soul. That's very pompous of you. It's going to piss a lot of people off. And even knows, like, yeah, I don't get, it actually is, I don't want to start a fight twice. Do I need to remember what happened the last time we tried to establish Empire? A mad space cricket came and kicked everybody's ass.
Dang.
It's like, yes, we're well aware of Annihilus, Richard. We are aware of the Annihilation Wave. Quit reminding us about the Annihilation Wave.
What does it sound like? That just sounds like something like, the last time this happened, right? The last time this happened, Galactus showed up. We all know what happened, right?
Yeah, the last time Galactus showed up, and then Annihilus took Galactus and used him as a giant power battery.
Yes.
So, Abigail Brandt's like, so we have this thing called the Imperium, which are the mutants that are going to be running this. We also have a metal called Mysterium, which, not every name's going to be a winner. But it's like, what do they say? It makes computers run at 100% efficiencies forever. It has the durability. It can enhance durability to the point where even the Hulk at his strongest cannot even dent it.
Dang.
And only we can make it. Huh. So Mars is absolutely the center of the solar system, like it or if you want your share. So Richard's like, this doesn't make you a thing. This is merely a bribe. And like, so what does this pay for? It's like you keeping everybody off our backs and let the capital planet of the solar system be Arakko, meaning Mars. So, of course, we think it ends right there with any questions. Then Dr. Doom pops in. It's like, yeah, so who's running Mars? So everybody is like,
why is that not surprising?
Well, he just wants to know because it's another potential rival for Doom.
Yeah.
With a kingdom far vaster than Doom. So Doom's like, all right, I mean, I'm a ruler. I have a say what goes on in the solar system as well because I am Doom. So it's like Doom would hear that voice of who is the ruler of Mars, who is running this show so that I may speak with them.
Right.
And then who speaks for the solar system. So then a hand pops out because Manifold, which his main power is to fold space.
Right.
He doesn't teleport people. He just has space fold and things happen in those folds.
Yeah.
So a hand pops out and Victor, it's like, Victor, you know my name. You've all heard it whispered. It's the Wind Rider. She who summons with the Shanti. Or no, she who swam with the Shanti. Hard to know. By the way, it's me, Storm. I am the new region of Mars. And I hereby am the voice of the solar system. So Storm is now Queen of Mars.
Wow. Okay. Okay.
And all the other people in the thing is like, well, crap.
And nobody, and no, Storm is probably the one comic book character that if she says something, nobody questions it.
No. like even Doom, it's like, all right, fine.
It was like even Doom's like, Storm's the Queen of Mars. It's like, I haven't gotten that far, but I can only imagine the drawn look on his face, like
We
crap.
don't see it. We just see him like holding things because like Storm has just stepped out of this portal and is immediately casting winds and lightning.
Dang.
She was like, I am the region of Mars and I am the voice of Soul. And everybody's like, damn.
That thing, whatever
So
dreams you had at that moment are gone.
here's how everybody has voted. They even have like a report to the Korean Empire of here's how everybody reported. Stars of Spartax. This isn't accepted. Economic necessity of Mysterium. Needed for recovery. Galactic Room Collection. Accepted. Economic necessity. Recovery. The Great Clamia. I'm sure I'm not saying that right at all.
We got what you
Accepted.
meant.
Technological necessity for defense. The Intergalactic Empire of Wakanda rejected. We don't need mutant metal.
Dang. Dang.
Right, though. Accepted. Technological necessity. Expansion. Sheer empire. Accepted. Political. We want Krakoa as an ally. Utopia. Accepted. Technological necessity. We need the ideology.
Dang.
Zenrix Empire. The lizard people from a couple issues ago.
Okay.
Accepted. Political. We need Krakoa as an ally.
That's funny. It's funny, but it's kind of it's funny, but it's messed up at the same time. Just like we don't need any more.
No, it just literally says
Oh,
Intergalactic Empire Wakanda rejected. They do not need mutant metal.
dang. Just it still hits.
So we are still continuing this issue because now we are at like 3:15 in the morning. Celebration's over. Magneto's sitting there with the bottle of whiskey, with a glass of whiskey,
Mm-hmm.
and Wanda comes in to talk to him. They have this nice heart to heart. Magneto tells like Wanda, because currently they are not father and daughter.
Okay.
That's been retconned because of the movies. Because technically Wanda and Pietro are no longer mutants either. That's a whole can of worms in and of itself. But Magneto does tell her point blank, you are my daughter. I've always considered you my daughter. Much like how I've always considered Quicksilver my son. And I will do whatever I can to make things right between us. And that's where the issue ends.
Okay.
So, Way of X. We get a first-person view of so Nightcrawler comes in. One of the multiple men offer him a drink. Nightcrawler says, "Well, really shouldn't. I have a lot on my mind." We immediately smash cut to a first-person perspective of drunk Nightcrawler throughout the entire thing.
Oh Lord. Just a drunk teleporter. This is gonna go horribly, horribly wrong. This is gonna go horribly, horribly wrong.
Oh yeah, no, it really is. Like he is either causing an issue or immediately bamfing. And he spoils that Megan Captain Avalon's wife is pregnant with their second kid. Nearly pukes on Rachel's dog. Even Kate's like, all right, sweetie, all right, Elf, come on, no more happy drink for you. Come on, sit down.
Not the dog collar. Come on, who's a good boy?
Yeah, pretty much. It's like, take time to lay off the gin, Elf. It's not a happy drink. Go sit down before you do something you regret. Regret? I don't understand. I'm going to save everybody. And then he immediately passes out while he's in the background as passed out as Magneto and Wanda talk. We find out. So the next morning, he has like this giant headache. Immediately vamps when he smells coffee and steals like some dude's coffee. And apparently he's come on the giant hookup party.
Oh no.
Yeah. So he comes across two mutants, Mercury and someone I don't know. They're having trouble being intimate because of certain things between them. He also runs into somebody called Stacy X. I do not know who that person is. But Legion's offers to help Mercury and the other Lady Mutant like hook up in their minds.
Mm-hmm.
And then it goes horribly wrong because we find out one of them was hosting Onslaught.
Oh.
So Onslaught immediately makes a mad dash for it. We find out Kurt has stumbled upon a nursery where there are mutant babies already. We just don't know where they came from.
Okay.
We find out that that one lady that like had from the first time where she was saying she was lost all the time, out she is a caregiver and her gravitational powers don't affect the babies for whatever reason.
Okay.
And that's just really it from there. And of course, she is also now, for whatever reason, possessed by Onslaught because Fabian Cortez was trying to hook up with somebody that just can't take no for an answer and got decked. So, Lost using her gravitational powers nearly craters Fabian Cortez.
I can see that.
And Pixie, the Zorn brothers, and Legion pop up because they're trying to track down and contain Onslaught.
So it's just a mess. So it's a completely and utterly messed up situation. What that is.
It absolutely is.
That's pretty much what it sounds like.
Moving on to X Factor, we are looking at X Factor going to the Hellfire Gala. iBoy is taking forever. Various other people are just taking thing. Prodigy's wearing a special gown that was requested by who we don't know. We do find out later on the issue. It's his boyfriend Speed, one of Wanda's kids. We also see that Prodigy gets a note and turns up somewhere, and it's the house of the man who killed his original body, and has for some reason been keeping the body in the basement.
That's not creepy at all.
Nope. He nearly does kill the dude. We also do see some fallout from other issues. Claire's talking to somebody. Dakin's girlfriend, which was Wild Child's girlfriend at one point. That starts the fight, but that ends. We see iBoy and Prodigy taking on the dude that killed him and beating him. And then Speed shows up, and then we see who is actually murdered at the Hellfire Gala. Because unfortunately, Speed finds the body.
Oh.
And if Speed finds the body, that gives you an immediate hint of who the person killed in the Hellfire Gala is.
Okay.
Would you like to take a guess?
Nope. I got too many going through my head right now. I got too many going through my head right now to figure out one.
Do you want me to save that one?
Nah, I'll find it. I'll wait. I'm good waiting.
So we won't spoil who turns up dead. We'll just leave it that Speed found the body.
Okay, that gives me an idea. That knocks two people out. But what else you got?
And the finale of the Hellfire Gala is Cable 11. So Hellfire Gala is over. Esme comes through a gate and immediately breaks up with Kid Cable.
Dang.
Meanwhile, Scott and Kid Cable were talking about some mutant babies that were captured by Strife. To Scott and Jean's just like, oh my god, I'm so tired of this. I've been listening to you for an hour. Let's just go save the kids. I agree with our son. So as soon as they leave, or getting ready to leave, because like Esme breaks up with them, and of course Kid Cable goes like, today cannot get any worse. And in walks in the last night of Galador, meaning one of the Romp Space Knight comes in. It's like, hey, you know that sword I loaned you for X of Swords? That was also part of my hand. Can I get that back? It's like, ooh, we gotta go get that. Stripe has that. We'll be right back. So, Kid Cable's like, so we gotta do one thing. And, this is gonna be a real pain in the butt. I'm not really sure if we should do this. Scott and Jean are there with them. So they resurrect Cable.
Oh.
And
Okay.
Cable's like, hey Chuck, we're back on Krakoa. That's cool. He asks to the people like, you didn't remove the virus in you, right? Otherwise, things get real bad if that's not there. It's like, yeah, we kept the virus in. So this does prove, because this was actually asked in some comments I saw on when Sean in New Mutants got resurrected, why her prosthetic cyborg leg was still there.
Mm-hmm.
They can bring you back at any point in your life if you want them to. So that means that Cable could have been brought back without the virus if he had asked, "Hey, don't bring me back with the virus in me."
Yeah. Okay.
So that Sean chose to be brought back with the cyborg leg. But that's neither here nor there. So Cable immediately looks at Kid Cable's like, "Oh, you're the one that killed me." And Kid Cable's like, "Now,
Let's
you
that.
know what
Let's.
I did, and you
What's
did it." And Cable's like, "Yeah, I understand. All right, what's the
what's a
next
bullet between friends?
No, because it's him talking to his younger self.
True.
He's like, yeah, you know why I did it. And he's like, yeah, I know. No worries. So then he immediately goes to Hope and they hug because Hope's his kid.
Mm-hmm.
So then Cable immediately body slides out of there. Old Cable. And Kid Cable's like, I swear to God, if you do not take me with you, I will hunt you down again. Then he immediately teleports out. So they're on Cable's spaceship. Cable gets his robot horse from, which is actually a pretty cool callback. That's his old horse from when he was a kid in the Age of Apocalypse times with Jean and Grey, with
Okay.
Jean and Scott.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he gives Kid Cable Battle Wagon 2. Meanwhile, old Cable goes to talk to Magic's like, hey, I need you to come with me. And Magic's like, okay, this is gonna be cool, isn't it? It's like, yeah, here's a marker. You can you can call it a favor anytime. And Cable Magic looks at the marker. It's like, it's a coin from hell. She's like, ooh, yeah, where are we going? So she's totally down. Meanwhile, Cable and Domino are driving down New York City in the Battle Wagon 2 and just immediately pick up Deadpool, who's taking selfies in New York because his book has been canceled and he needs money.
It's Deadpool. I don't know why I'm saying it. It's Deadpool.
So they literally do the get in loser, we're doing something.
Mm-hmm.
They say, get in, we're going to go kill Stripe. And Cable's like, you have no idea how long I waited for you to hear those words. It's like, you guys are crazy not to be put. It's like, I don't even have guest starring roles anymore. Please take me with you. I'm so cold.
Wow. I think that's there and say you had me at strife. Yeah.
Oh no, he just keeps going. So, meanwhile, Magic and Cable are doing something real quick. And he shows Ileana something. We have no idea what. And he's like, all right, Ileana, you saw what I need you to see. You can go back. And she's like, all right, cool. Good hunting, old man. And then Kid Cable goes like, so, Gene, Scott, want to come with me for a mission? Like, yeah, we got time.
It's like, why not? It's not like you got anything better else to do.
So, Kid Cable drives up to the Cuckoo's home where he immediately gets slapped by Esme again. For just like showing up out of the blue. It's like, oh, by the way, no, I know. She's like, I don't want to be with you because you're going to turn into the old dude. It's like, well, I'm young and that's going to take a while and I want to spend my time with you. So they get back together. And then they go pick up Hope, which is, I guess, his niece, and Rachel, which is his sister because timelines are a weird thing.
Mm-hmm.
There are technically like 4 Summers kids right now.
Yeah. I thought it was 5, but okay.
Well, technically 1 grandkid in Hope, Rachel, Nathan Summers, Cable, and Kid Cable. So it's weird.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So Deadpool's about to make a really nice scene awkward, and Jean tells him to go to sleep. Deadpool does point out that he is technically immune to telepathy. So Jean just like, but he still goes to sleep, and Jean's like, I use my TK to cut off the flow to his brain. I'm not proud of it, but it had to be done.
Dang. I understand, but dang.
Tygon just looks at me, he's like, so you do realize what's about to happen. It's like, almost all of our kids are going together on a mission. It's like, oh, I know. The kids in our family grow up really quick. So we see Stripe has got that sword, and he has cloned 5 mutant babies to the to give us the necessary 10 for an invasion spell. Guess he's in limbo or something. Oh no, just as another time, another place. So he's trying to do this giant spell. Cable plants a Cocoan gate, and then Cable jumps out the window to kill Stripe, which I think is going to lead into invasion, or not invasion, but what's it called? Inferno.
Okay.
Because this is also they're going right from the Hellfire Gala to a lot of clone stuff.
Oh, so it's not go. So it's going to that clone. Well, not I almost say clone. Why did I just say Clone Wars? I came that close to saying Clone Wars.
It's probably going to be Clone Wars because it looks like the whole crux of Inferno is all the clones that didn't get resurrected are going to be resurrected somehow,
Mm-hmm.
and they're going to be going to war with uh, mutant kind for not resurrecting them. Because all of Inferno's this Inferno plotline kicked off when Madeline Pryor was killed, and they told Havoc, "We are not resurrecting your girlfriend for a numerous amount of reasons."
Yeah.
And then, like Gabby was asked in the reboot of New Mutants in 16, it's like, so what happens when a clone dies? Because like I'm a clone, and the kid that was Kid Apocalypse was a clone of Apocalypse, but he was a super nice kid. And it's like, well, he didn't die. You guys are resurrecting him. It's like, there are some things that, like, there are problems with resurrecting clones sometimes. It's like, specifically Madeline Pryor, but, he's in the queue, just not really high up.
This thing. This.
So this all leads to Inferno. This is all leading to Inferno.
Gotcha. Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense, but that's still funny. Just like,
so
there's a
the
reason.
Hellfire Gala, it's not quite the big event that they make it out to be. Like, it's not a House of X, Dawn of X, or
Uh
House of X, Powers of X, but it sets up a lot of stuff for down the road. So we have like the trial of Magneto. We have Inferno coming out. We have that plot in New Mutants about Rain tracking down her son. We have Cable looking for a new comic book because his was canceled, and he needs to be somewhere because he gets so cold and lonely at night.
It's still funny. It always is funny about Deadpool and his and always that fourth wall. Like I have nothing going on right now, literally.
Now, I do have one other book recommendation, and we are not reviewing it. I would just say it. It is the Flash Mark Waid Book 8. This finishes up Mark Waid's historic run on the Wally West run. This also is the first time we get the collected journey of the Dark Flash saga, which is the story of Walter West.
Yep, not to be confused with CW's attempt at trying to make the Flash evil. But I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, he wasn't evil. This was just when it was the 90s and it was extreme and stuff.
Yeah.
He was on Extreme Justice, I believe.
Yeah, but some people that watch CW thought that the Flash when he went dark side, it's gonna be related to that. No, it's not.
Even though that Barry Allen is basically Wally West anyways, but that's beside the point.
In so many ways. But well, with that, Joe, man, I appreciate that. And with that being said, that's really gonna do it for this podcast. So, Joe, before we get out of here, anything you want to let people know about what you're doing?
I will be at the Hot Chicken Parade on the 4th of July in East Nashville with the Tennessee Ghostbusters.
God dang it, I knew that. I forgot about the Hot Chicken Parade.
I will be sweating my butt off because I'm in the black uniform because my Ghostbusters uniform is based off the IDW comic book version. I will not be with my proton pack because do not want to be out in tremendous heat with a proton pack and a black outfit.
Right. And almost dang near 110 humidity and 94-degree weather.
I may also be doing something at a theater with either with the Nashville Avengers. Maybe we're kind of working that out. Do like a maybe a movie appearance for Black Widow where kind of talked about that. So
Nice.
there's Bernzino. No, I will not dance no matter how much money you give me. That is soliciting and that is wrong.
You say that now. You say that now. So it's like we just want you to dance. We just want you to dance. It's like dance the way you danced in Pool. I'm sorry, that was wrong.
No, rich right boy dance.
That
No.
would be that would be wrong. But where else can the folks find you on the social media interweb, sir?
I think right now my Twitter handle is Joe Italian last name. Um, Nashville Green Lantern and Nashville Scarlet Spider, or on Facebook. Or you can talk to me in various communities like the Laser Time community if you're there. Total Justice Gaming on Facebook. You can find me there. You can make comments on YouTube on this channel. I swear to God, I will answer them because I love answering questions.
Oh, they had some questions. I got to pull up that one where it was. There were questions in there they were asked from a comic book standpoint. I just couldn't answer, but I'll have to bring that up to you one day. But I'm sorry, Joe. But what were you gonna say? I just cut
No,
you
I
off
was
in the middle of that.
just let me read the comments. I'll be happy to answer any of them.
Oh, I gotta pull it
I'll
up.
the audience.
This was like the first. I gotta go back to that one. I think that was the first time I had you on. I have to go. It's been a while. I'm supposed to have to go back and go digging for it. But aside from myself, guys, as you can see, the link at the bottom, you copy and paste that into your browser. It takes you to the link tree for all of my podcasts for Facebook and YouTube groups. Git Bit, How the Prep Guide here, and Off Limits Podcast. Let me not forget my brethren who's probably eating barbecue right now. I'm not even thinking about bringing me back nothing, but I'm not hateful or anything like that. Big BZA Dot, my buddy, my other podcast, Brother in Arms. He actually has a couple of podcasts he does as well. Please check him out. 8th Mile West Spoon on Facebook, Big BZA on socials. Has the smoking trailers, which are movie trailers, and which he goes over every Sunday from 6:30 to 9. And of course, the RAF, which is like America's Funniest Home Videos, except done by WorldStar. Also on Mondays and Tuesdays from 6:30 to 9 p.m. But definitely check him out, Big BZ out on socials. As for myself, you can find me, William Buchanan, on Facebook, Blackfox underscore 447 on Instagram, and Blackfox 44 underscore 447 on Twitter, and also on Twitch. Still waiting out. Like I said, I have one. I thought I could start doing my streaming gaming yet. But come to find out, there was a great camera that I could use along with this, and now I have to wait to get that. So the waiting continues. Aside from that, guys, like I said before, we do appreciate you guys definitely paying attention. And we also want to give a special shout out to, what was that place again, Joe? That was wanting to do a little thing for us that we want to tell people about. I'm sorry, say it one more time.
Rick's Comic City.
And where can they find it?
Rick's Comic City can be found over in Dawson, which is a suburb of Nashville. Or you can find them over in Fort Campbell and in Clarksville.
Yep, definitely want to shout out Rick's Comic City for that as well. Because I always say it best. Although digital comic books are great, there's nothing that'll ever beat the real feeling of going to a comic book store and actually digging in the crates. If anything, Joe will be able to sit there and tell you, especially with his Thunderbolts and Flash and what other collection do you have?
Oh, their Green Lantern, and they have had to restock because of me, and they have not caught up.
You said that so menacingly. You said like it was a dare. It's like, I dare you to restart.
Oh, I dare anybody to try and get as much Green Lantern as I did. There are people that will do it. People absolutely there did it, but I have collected Green Lantern, and I have bought it all from Rick's from the time Kyle gets the ring until now.
That's like, I just thought about, you just did that like a straight evil supervillain. I dare you to restock. Just anyway. Thank you, Rick, I would say, for definitely for shout outs, and really do appreciate that. Like I said before, always visit your local comic book shop and also libraries, because libraries carry comic books too. And believe it or not, they actually carry current versions of comic books. So if you can't get to a comic book store, definitely hit up a library, because those are the last bastions of where you can actually get to see and read comic books and get to enjoy the world we're in. But if you like, I'm sorry, say it one more time, Joe.
Oh, I'm saying absolutely. Gallatin Library is one of my favorite libraries to go to.
Yep, I still have.
In Bellevue, but they still have a fantastic library.
Actually, even the one here in Antioch is pretty good too. I'm just hoping they don't, decide to cover it up. But that being said, not to go into local news that you probably guys don't want to know about. But aside from that, guys, if you like what we did, please let me know. If you didn't like what we did, please let us know. And also in the comments, because a lot of y'all do like to comment, I do appreciate that. Feel free to comment when it's live too, because we can actually see your comments, and that we'll be able to respond back to you. But if you catch us on the replay, please comment if it's live, because we will start going back and start answering those questions. I have to actually go find the podcast to where a lot of questions where I'm pretty sure Joe could have answered, I want to bring them back up so he can't answer them for you guys. So we don't want to make you feel like you're left out. Aside from that, guys, like I said before, yes, as Joe mentioned, it is going to be a definite hot 4th of July weekend. So please, please, please hydrate. Hydrate. Don't wear clothing that is not going to help you. Please mind yourself and others. We don't want nobody to get heat strokes. We don't want nobody to pass out. Especially with the hot chicken festival. Oh, Lord, I'm gonna miss the hot chicken festival. God dang it. Aside from that, ladies and gentlemen, just simply enjoy yourselves. Is all we're saying to do this weekend, because it's 4th of July. Some of us have Monday off, some of us doesn't. But again, at least we have tomorrow to enjoy. So, with that being said, he's been Joe, I've been Will. This has been the Git Bit Podcast, guys. We're hoping that you guys take care of each other and yourselves and have a great weekend. We are out. Peace.